Good morning, everyone. We are going to be talking about our financial literacy unit this week. Today, Monday, and tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to be working on 20.1 and 20.2 in your Go Math book. We are going to be working on a lot of vocabulary, so I'm going to just introduce the vocabulary, but you need to complete your vocabulary journal, which is in the PDF documents, and you also need to, part of the vocabulary journal is you write down the definitions, and those are the definitions straight from the Go Math book, not in your own words. I want them to be what says in the Go Math book. And then there's another column which asks you to use the word in a sentence or draw a picture, something that'll kind of help you remember what that word means. So a lot of this is going to be reliant on your knowledge of the vocabulary, because the vocabulary is going to be used for calculations with the math later. And if you're not quite sure what the word means, then it's going to change how you solve the problem. Kind of like your keywords for multiplication and division. If you're not familiar or you're not sure how the keywords are used in word problems, it will change the operation that you use. So you might be multiplying when you should be dividing, or dividing when you multiply. So again, knowing these, the vocabulary words, what they mean, being very familiar with them, is going to help you to solve the word problems. So I'd say 90% of this unit is going to be you becoming and knowing, becoming familiar and knowing the vocabulary. So to start with, we're going to, in 20.1, I've got my teacher's edition here, 20.1. First, we're going to talk about labor and income. So in the unlock the problem scenario, at the 20.1, just the very first white page, you've got the words labor and income highlighted. Labor is the work that a person does. Income is money earned. So labor is the work that a person does. It has nothing to do with money. You could do labor, perform labor for money, or you could perform labor for no money. So labor is just the work that you're doing. Typically, though, you are going to earn money for doing work. So that is the income. So the labor is the work that you do. The income is the amount of money earned, or the money earned. Okay, so if we're using that in a sentence, or if we're using that in a real world application, let's say you mow yards and you're going to start a business mowing your yard or mowing your neighbor's yards, cutting their grass. The labor itself is the cutting of the grass. The income is the money that you're receiving for cutting someone's yard. So whether that's $10 per yard or $20 per yard. So labor is the work, income is the money. Okay, so that's the difference between those two, labor and income. The next word that is highlighted on that same page is human capital. A person's knowledge and work skills can be called human capital. Knowledge and work skills. So in the same example where you have a business where you're mowing yards or cutting people's grass, the human capital is the knowledge and your work skills. So if you're just starting out and you've never mowed a yard before, your human capital is low. You're probably not going to be able to earn that much money, because maybe you're not doing as well of a job because you haven't practiced enough, or you haven't done it enough. You don't have those same work skills as somebody else who has been mowing yards, cutting grass for 10, 20, 30 years. Okay, so human capital is going to be low when you start out doing something, and then the more time that you spend doing that job, practicing, gaining knowledge, building up your work skills, the higher your human capital is. Okay, and now also something that is associated with that is your education. Obviously, doctors and lawyers have to go to school for a very long time because there's just so much to learn. So your knowledge is going to be different than someone else's knowledge who has gone through a lot of school to become a doctor or a lawyer or some other professional trade like that. So again, human capital, I'm reading it straight from the book, a person's knowledge and work skills. So the more knowledge that you have about a thing, something, a trade, or the more work skills that you have, the higher your human capital. Okay, so that's human capital. We've got another definition for 20.1, and that is the word salary. That also has to do with money. So income and salary both have to do with money that is being earned. But here, the biggest difference for salary is it's the amount of money a person can earn by being self-employed or by doing a job for another person or business. So it's the amount of money that you can earn. So usually if someone asks, what is your salary? It's the amount of money that you would make over the entire year. So it's the amount of money that if you were to stay in that job and work the job for the entire year long, how much can you make at the end of that year? That is someone's salary. So again, the difference between salary and income is the amount of money earned. So that's how much you've worked that amount of time and you've earned the money after X amount of time, every 2 weeks or so. Salary is how much you can earn over a period of time. Typically it's stated in terms of 1 year. So your salary for the year is X amount of dollars, okay? One thing I did want to talk about in 20.1 is the word raise. You'll hear the word raise. And actually it's used in question number 6. So I want to talk about question number 6 in 20.1. I'll go ahead and read the whole question and then I want to talk about the word raise. Dexter has worked 2 years as a computer scientist. This is question number 6. I'm going to start over. Question 6. Dexter has worked 2 years as a computer scientist. The computer scientists, their salaries are listed in the table to the right of question number 6. So if you're wanting to know where we're getting these numbers, look at the table to the right of question number 6. So there's computer scientist and it gives his salary in the right-hand column. He received a $1,500 raise after the first year. What was his salary for the second year? So if you look in the right-hand column, I'll go ahead and show you what mine looks like. You look in the right-hand column over here. So you've got the job and then you've got the salary here. He makes $93,950 per year for the whole year. So if he were to work from day 1 to the whole year, end of the year, he would earn a total of $93,950. It's saying that he received a raise of $1,500. Well, obviously, that is much, much less than $93,950. So it's not saying in the second year he's going to earn $1,500. He's not earning $1,500. He is getting a raise of that amount of money. So what you would do in this situation is you would add $93,950 plus $1,500, and that would give you his new salary for the year, which I don't have a calculator on me and I haven't done the math yet, but it's going to be something like $95,000. You're going to do the math because this is one of the problems that you have to do. But it's going to be something around $95,000. So the first year he earns $93,950, and then he's done such a good job that they decided to give him more money. So then you add that amount, and then next year he's going to make $95,000 something dollars for the second year. So a raise is an additional amount of money that you're adding to the salary, and then the 2 years, $93,000 plus $95,000 would give you the total of the 2 years that he has worked. Okay, so that's it for 20.1. There are going to be calculations that you have to do, but they are dependent upon you knowing those vocabulary words. So again, I want you to become very familiar with them, and then I want you to apply the vocabulary words to the calculations that you have to do. Another helpful hint for this 20.1 and really all of financial literacy is going to be making a table or making a list of things so that way you can kind of keep organized. This is how much he made the first year. This is how much he made the second year. This is how much he's made the third year. Keep them organized in your list. We've talked about pulling all the information out of the problem. Make a list and then take that information and add, subtract, do whatever you need to do. Making a list or making a table are two really good strategies for all of financial literacy. Anytime you're dealing with money, making a list is a great strategy. That's it for 20.1. I'm going to do a separate video for 20.2. So click over to the next video so you can do the definitions for 20.2, which is going to be resources. And then we're going to talk about the words scarce and plentiful. Bye, guys.